Okay, real talk. If you could shoot lightning from your fingertips right now, would you do it? Because that's basically the eternal Star Wars question we're tackling today. Since 1977, we've watched Jedi and Sith duke it out across the galaxy, but here's the thing. They're both using the same cosmic energy source. It's like two chefs working with the same ingredients, except one's making a healing smoothie, while the other one's brewing poison. Today, we're diving deep into the light side versus dark side of the Force, why this conflict defines everything in Star Wars, from galactic politics to personal identity crisis. Buckle up, nerds! Let's start with the basics, because even Master Yoda had to begin somewhere. The Force is, as old Ben Kenobi so eloquently put it, an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us, penetrates us, and binds the galaxy together. Think of it as the ultimate Wi-Fi network, except instead of cat videos, it's transmitting life itself. Here's where it gets spicy though. Both the light side and the dark side are tapping into this exact same energy source. It's not like there are two different forces floating around the galaxy having a cosmic cage match. Nope. There's just one force, and what matters is how you approach it. Its intention, not the source. That determines your alignment. Remember when Luke was training on Dagobah in The Empire Strikes Back? Yoda wasn't teaching him to access some special light side force, he was teaching him how to connect with the Force in a balanced, harmonious way. The cave scene where Luke faces Shadow Vader? That's the Force showing him that darkness exists within the same energy field. It's all about choice. The father from the Mordix arc in the Clone Wars really drives this home. He kept the balance between his children, the daughter representing light and the son representing darkness, because they were both aspects of the same Force. The planet Mortis itself changed from lush and vibrant during the day to hostile and decaying at night, showing how the same place, the same Force, could manifest directly based on the dominant influence. Visual cue here would be those incredible shots from the Clone Wars Mortis episodes where you literally see the environment shifting between light and dark states. It's the perfect metaphor. The son represents the dark side, the daughter represents the light, and the father represents the balance between them. Not separate entities, but a family, connected, intertwined, and ultimately drawing from the same source. The Force doesn't care about your allegiance. It's like electricity. You can use it to power a hospital or an electric chair. The energy itself is neutral. It's what you do with it that counts. And that, my friends, is where our eternal conflict begins. Alright, let's talk about the poster children of the Force, the light side users. These are your Jedi Knights, your Force priestesses, your Lasat mystics, and even the mysterious Bendu. Though he'd probably argue he's more neutral, but we'll get to that later. What unites them all? A philosophy built on 4 pillars: peace, knowledge, serenity, and self-discipline. The core philosophy of the light side reads like a cosmic self-help book, but in the best way possible. It's all about going with the flow, literally. Light side users don't try to dominate the Force. They let it flow through them like a river. They're the ultimate work smarter, not harder crowd, except their work involves lifting X-Wings out of swamps and convincing stormtroopers these aren't the droids they're looking for. Let's break down the key techniques, shall we? First up, we've got the classics: telekinesis, moving stuff with your mind tricks, Jedi mind tricks work on the weak-minded, and enhanced reflexes. But here's where it gets really interesting: Force healing. This rare ability involves literally transferring your own life energy to heal another being, and Rey learned it from the ancient Jedi texts she snagged from Luke's hermit library on Ahch-To. Talk about putting your money where your mouth is. Then there's battle meditation. Imagine being able to boost your entire army's morale and coordination through the Force. It's like being the ultimate motivational speaker, except actually effective. And let's not forget the ultimate light side flex: becoming a Force ghost. As the father noted in the Mortis arc, this represents the light side's greatest reward, transcending death itself. While darksiders cling desperately to life through unnatural means, lightsiders just peace out and become one with the Force, popping back for helpful advice whenever the plot demands it. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. The light side demands personal sacrifice. We're talking about letting go of attachments, which is way harder than it sounds. Ask Anakin how that worked out for him. The Jedi Order took this to extremes, forbidding romantic relationships and separating younglings from their families. It's like cosmic tough love. You can have ultimate peace and power, but you've got to give up a lot of what makes life worth living for most people. Our notable light side all-stars include the obvious suspects: Yoda, 900 years of wisdom in a tiny green package; Obi-Wan Kenobi, master of the high ground and sick burns; and Rey, who went from scavenger to Jedi in record time. But let's not forget about Ahsoka Tano, who embodies light side ideals while telling the Jedi Order to take a hike. She proves you don't need the institution to follow the path. The visual language of the light side is all about tranquility and flow. Picture Yoda's meditation scenes, Luke's training on Dagobah, or those gorgeous shots of Rey healing the serpent in The Rise of Skywalker. When Rey healed that massive Vexus snake on Pisana, she literally placed her hand over the wound and you could see the energy flowing. Pure, selfless giving. It's gentle, it's graceful, and it's powerful in its restraint. Now we're getting to the fun stuff, or the terrifying stuff, depending on your perspective. The dark side of the Force is everything the light side isn't, and that's exactly the point. Where the light side whispers, the dark side screams. Where the light side asks you to let go, the dark side tells you to grab on with both hands and never let go. The core philosophy here is beautifully simple. Power through passion. The Sith code literally states, peace is a lie, there is only passion. Dark side users don't suppress their emotions, they weaponize them. Anger, fear, hatred, jealousy. These aren't weaknesses to overcome, but fuel for the fire. It's like the Force's version of use your anger management issues to your advantage. The primary users read like a who's who of galactic troublemakers. The Sith Order, limited to 2 at a time because apparently even evil has HR policies. The Night Sisters of Dathomir, space witches who make regular witches look tame. Dark Jedi, Jedi who said screw it to the rules. And the Inquisitors, Vader's personal Jedi hunting squad. Each group has its own flavor of darkness, but they all share that hunger for power. Let's talk abilities, because this is where the dark side gets seductive. Force lightning? Check. Nothing says I have power like shooting electricity from your fingertips. Force choke? The ultimate power move in any board meeting. But it goes deeper than just the flashy stuff. Dark side users can manipulate minds through fear, create illusions, and even drain the life force from others. The Son from Mortis could corrupt others with darkness itself, as he did when he infected Ahsoka, turning her into a vessel for the dark side. And here's the really messed up part. There are dark rituals that promise unnatural life extension. We're talking about cheating death itself, but not in the peaceful become one with the Force way. This is desperate, clawing I'll do anything to survive immortality. Darth Plagueis the Wise, anyone? The dark side offers shortcuts to power that the light side would never dream of. The temptation factor cannot be overstated. The dark side promises quick results and personal freedom. Tired of the Jedi telling you not to love? The dark side says go for it. Want to be powerful right now instead of after decades of meditation? Dark side's got your back. It's like the Force's version of a get-rich-quick scheme, except the fine print involves your soul. Our dark side Hall of Fame is legendary Darth Sidious, the ultimate puppet master who played the long game and won. Darth Vader, the chosen one who chose poorly, Count Dooku, the gentleman Sith with a curved lightsaber, and Kylo Ren, millennial angst with a lightsaber. Each represents a different aspect of the dark side's appeal: political power, personal strategy, dignified rebellion, and raw, conflicted emotion. Visually, the dark side is all about domination and destruction. Think Palpatine's face-melting lightning, Vader's mechanical breathing, or Kylo's explosive tantrums. When the son attacked his father with Force lightning in the Mortis arc, it was raw, brutal power. No finesse, just overwhelming force. The dark side doesn't flow through you. You grab it and bend it to your will. It's aggressive, it's immediate, and it's intoxicating. So we've covered what each side offers, but let's get into the nitty-gritty of how they actually differ in practice. This isn't just about good versus evil, it's about fundamentally different approaches to existence itself. The light side is all about patience and going with the flow. Imagine you're in a river. Light side users learn to swim with the current, using its power to propel themselves forward. They practice non-attachment, which doesn't mean not caring, but rather not being controlled by those cares. It's like the ultimate it is what it is philosophy, but with lightsabers. The dark side? They're the ones building a dam to control that river. Where light side users flow with the Force, dark siders dominate it. They bend the Force to their will through sheer emotional intensity. It's the difference between a martial artist who redirects their opponent's energy and a boxer who just punches harder. This philosophical split shows up crystal clear in combat. Jedi are typically reactive fighters. They defend, they parry, they wait for openings. Form 3, Seresu, Obi-Wan's specialty, is literally all about defense. It's like Force-powered Aikido. Meanwhile, Sith are proactive to the point of aggression. They attack, they press advantages, they create openings through sheer brutality. When was the last time you saw a Sith patiently wait for anything? The mindset difference extends beyond combat. Light side meditation involves emptying yourself, becoming a vessel for the Force. Dark side meditation is about filling yourself with passion and focusing that emotion into power. One seeks clarity through peace, the other seeks strength through conflict. The Mortis arc perfectly illustrates this dichotomy. When Anakin faced the test where both Obi-Wan and Ahsoka were in danger, he didn't choose one or the other. He used the Force to save both, forcing the son and daughter to release their captives. This wasn't about picking a side, it was about finding a third option through balance. Here's a practical example: healing. When Rey healed Kylo Ren after their Death Star duel, she didn't just fix his physical wound, she also healed the facial scar she'd given him in The Force Awakens. That's light side healing: comprehensive, selfless, restorative. Dark side healing involves stealing life from others to sustain yourself, like Palpatine trying to drain Rey and Ben's life force. Same goal, staying alive, completely different methods. The visual cues are perfect here. Picture Yoda's defensive fighting style in Attack of the Clones, all flips and redirections, using Dooku's aggression against him. Now contrast that with Sidious in Revenge of the Sith, launching himself at the Jedi Masters like a crimson tornado of death. One dances, the other demolishes. Let's talk about the price tags, because nothing in the Force comes free. Both paths demand payment, but the currency is very different. The light side is like investing in a 401k. It's the slow path that pays off big in the long run. Mastery takes decades, even centuries. You've got to develop ironclad discipline, emotional control, and the ability to let go of literally everything you hold dear. But the payoff? Inner peace that can't be shaken, long-term resilience that lets you bounce back from anything, and here's the kicker: the ability to transcend death itself through becoming a Force ghost. You literally get to exist forever as a helpful blue glowing mentor. Not bad for a lifetime of meditation and celibacy. The dark side is your get-rich-quick scheme with loan sharks. You want power? You got it. Right now, today. The initial rush is incredible. Suddenly you're shooting lightning, choking admirals who disappoint you, and feeling like you could take on the whole empire yourself. But oh boy, the interest rates on this power loan are killer. Let's look at the physical costs first. Palpatine went from a distinguished senator to looking like a melted candle after his own Force lightning got reflected back at him. But even before that, extended darkside use was aging him prematurely. Darth Sion literally held his decomposing body together through pure hatred. These aren't exactly after photos you'd want to use for marketing. The mental and spiritual costs are even steeper. Anakin's fall is the perfect case study. He turned to the dark side to save Padme and ended up being the one who killed her. Emotionally, at least. The dark side promises to give you everything you want, but twists it into a nightmare. It's like a monkey's paw wish where you get exactly what you asked for in the worst way possible. The Mortis arc shows this beautifully. When the daughter died, the balance was completely disrupted and the entire realm began descending into darkness. That's what happens on a personal level too. Once you start going down the dark path, forever it will dominate your destiny. The quick power gains come at the cost of your sanity, your relationships, and ultimately, your humanity. But here's the thing. Both paths have their appeal for a reason. The light side asks you to basically become a space monk, giving up personal attachments and desires. That's a huge ask. No wonder Anakin struggled with it. Meanwhile, the dark side says, hey, keep all your attachments. In fact, let them make you stronger. It's immediately appealing, especially to someone in emotional pain. The visual metaphors are perfect. Light side users often look serene, aged gracefully like Yoda or Obi-Wan. Dark side users? They're either hiding behind masks like Vader or looking like they've been put through a blender like Palpatine. Your outsides start matching your insides, and when your insides are full of hatred and anger, that's not a good look. Now, here's where things really get interesting. What about those who reject the whole binary system? Because let's be honest, most of us aren't just pure good or pure evil. We're complicated, messy, somewhere in the middle beings, and Star Wars has increasingly acknowledged this. Enter the gray area inhabitants, the Force users who look at both the Jedi and Sith and say, yeah, no thanks to both. These aren't fence-sitters, they're actively choosing a different path. Ahsoka Tano is our poster child here. Trained as a Jedi, walked away from the Order, but still firmly on the good side. She proves you can serve the light without buying into the Jedi's rigid doctrine. Then there's the Bendu from Star Wars Rebels, who literally introduces himself as the one in the middle. This massive Force-sensitive creature embodies true neutrality. Not apathy, but genuine balance. When pushed, he can summon storms and devastation, but he prefers to just chill and offer cryptic advice. He's basically the Force's version of Switzerland. Qui-Gon Jinn deserves a mention here. While technically a Jedi, he was the Order's rebel. He followed the will of the Force over the will of the Council, believed in prophecies they dismissed, and was the first Jedi to rediscover the secret of becoming a Force ghost after learning it from the Shaman of the Wills, also known as the Force Priestesses. He wasn't gray, but he definitely wasn't drinking all the Jedi Kool-Aid either. The Mortis gods themselves represent this balance concept. The father wasn't light or dark, but the balance between his two children. His role was to keep them in check, preventing either from overwhelming the other. When he died, that balance was lost and chaos ensued. It's a perfect metaphor for why absolute light or dark doesn't work. You need the tension between them. The concept of Grey Jedi has floated around the fandom forever, though it's not officially recognized in current canon. The idea is appealing. Force users who can tap into passion without falling into darkness, who can form attachments without being consumed by them. It's having your cake and eating it too. Force style. But here's the catch. Walking the middle path might be the hardest path of all. The Jedi have structure, rules, a clear path. The Sith have passion and power as their guides. The middle path? You're making it up as you go, constantly checking yourself, constantly balancing. It's like trying to walk a tightrope while everyone else is on solid ground. What's fascinating is how the Mortis arc connects to the world between worlds, a realm that exists outside normal space and time, accessible through a mural of the Mortis gods. This suggests that true balance transcends the physical realm entirely. Maybe the real balance isn't about mixing light and dark, but about understanding they're both necessary parts of a greater whole. Visually, these balance seekers are often portrayed uniquely. Ahsoka's white lightsabers, purified from red crystals, symbolize her unique path. The Bendu appears and disappears like mist. The father from Mortis was shown maintaining balance not through his own power, but by keeping his children in check. It's not about being stronger than light or dark, it's about understanding both. Here's the million credit question. Why does Star Wars keep coming back to this light versus dark conflict? Because at its core, this isn't really about space wizards with laser swords. It's about the battle we all fight within ourselves every single day. The Force isn't just a power system. It's a metaphor for the human condition. We all have our light and dark moments. We all face choices between what's easy and what's right. That moment when someone cuts you off in traffic and you have to choose between letting it go or giving into road rage, that's your personal light side/dark side moment right there. Star Wars brilliantly externalizes this internal conflict. When Luke faces Vader in the cave on Dagobah and sees his own face beneath the mask, it's not subtle. The dark side isn't some external evil, it's the potential within himself. Every hero's journey in Star Wars is really about confronting and integrating these opposing forces within themselves. Anakin's entire arc personifies this struggle. The chosen one, destined to bring balance, falls to darkness trying to save someone he loves and ultimately finds redemption through the love of his son. It's a perfect circle that shows both the danger of the dark side and the hope that light can always return. His story resonates because we've all had moments where our good intentions led us down dark paths. The mythic structure runs deep. George Lucas famously drew on Joseph Campbell's monomyth. But the light/dark duality goes back further, to Zoroastrianism, Taoism, and countless other philosophical traditions. Star Wars just dressed it up in robes and gave it lightsabers. The imagery of the cave, the mentor, the temptation, these are archetypal patterns that speak to something fundamental in human psychology. What's brilliant is how the franchise keeps finding new angles on this eternal theme. The prequels show us how a democracy becomes a dictatorship through fear. The originals gave us the classic hero's journey. The sequels explored legacy and whether you can escape the sins of previous generations. The Clone Wars and Rebels delved into the gray areas between light and dark. Each iteration adds layers while keeping the core conflict intact. The visual language reinforces this universality. The Mortis arc's environment literally shifts between light and dark with the time of day, a perfect metaphor for how these forces ebb and flow in our own lives. We're not always light or dark, we shift between them based on circumstances, choices, and growth. The reason this conflict endures is simple. It's true. Not literally, we can't shoot lightning or move objects with our minds, unfortunately, but the struggle between our better angels and our darker impulses, between selflessness and selfishness, between patience and passion, that's as real as it gets. Star Wars gives us a vocabulary and a mythology to discuss these very human experiences. Every time a new Star Wars story introduces a character choosing between light and dark, it's really asking us, what would you choose? And more importantly, what are you choosing right now in your daily life? That's the genius of the light side versus dark side. It's simultaneously epic fantasy and intimate personal drama. So, there you have it, folks. The eternal dance between light and dark that makes Star Wars tick. From the serene Jedi temples to the shadowy Sith strongholds, from Anakin's fall to Ben Solo's redemption, this cosmic conflict shapes everything in that galaxy far, far away. But here's the real truth bomb. The most interesting characters are the ones who struggle with both sides. Luke flirting with darkness in Return of the Jedi. Ahsoka walking away from the Jedi Order. Even Vader, the ultimate dark side icon, couldn't fully extinguish the light within him. Maybe that's the real lesson. Not that we should be purely light or dark, but that we need to acknowledge both aspects within ourselves and choose, moment by moment, which path we'll walk. The Force doesn't care about your alignment. It's there, waiting to be used. The question is, how will you use it? Will you seek power at any cost, or peace through discipline? Will you dominate or harmonize? Or will you forge your own path somewhere in between? I want to hear from you in the comments. Are you more light side or dark side? Which Force powers would you want? And more importantly, which Star Wars character's Force journey resonates most with you? If this deep dive into the Force helped you understand the galaxy far, far away a little better, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We've got more Star Wars explainers coming your way. Next week, we're breaking down every single lightsaber from and why Form 2 is criminally underrated. Until then, may the Force be with you, whichever side you choose.